Step into realms where the heart takes flight, where strategy meets the edge of night. The dungeons, dragons, and psychology parts. Prepare your mind. Now be our guest.
Oh, the Paladin, those holy warriors, beacons of hope radiating charisma that inspires others to follow their righteous path. I'm Robert Walker, author of Session Zero, the DMG to writing great campaigns in any system, and this is my show where I teach collaborative storytellers how to have more immersive campaigns using psychology. And today we're going to delve into the world of paladins, those unwavering defenders of justice and champions of the light. We're going to explore how to cultivate the physical strength, the unwavering conviction, and inspire leadership that defines a true paladin. This knowledge will help you embark on that real-life quest to become a champion for what's right. To embody this spirit, we're going to focus on their two abilities, their primary ability of strength and secondary ability of charisma. Let's look at strength first. And remember that you can download your own character sheet in the show notes of this episode. And if you haven't listened to the earlier episodes about how to use the character sheet and the leveling up in real life process, go ahead and go back before finishing this episode. But let's move on to the strength of the Paladin. Strength is their physical power. It is their unwavering determination, their ability to stand their ground and fight for what they believe in. This is what separates the paladin from the fighter or the barbarian. Their strength is what gives them the ability to stand up for what they believe in. So here's how to cultivate that strength. First, obviously, develop some physical prowess. Engage in activities that build muscle strength and endurance. Weight training, bodyweight exercises, martial arts, challenging outdoor activities like hiking or sprinting. All great choices. Also, discipline and self-control. Paladins are paragons of discipline. So sticking to a consistent routine and pushing through discomfort to build that mental strength, that mental fortitude, is part of the paladin's form of strength. And also, having the strength to embrace responsibility. Paladins don't shy away from challenges. They take on additional responsibilities, and they strive to excel and be paragons of what they stand for, setting an example of leadership and moral action for others to follow. And that takes a very unique sort of strength. And then there's charisma for the paladin, which embodies their persuasiveness, their leadership skills, and that ability to inspire. So things like developing communication skills, clear and concise communication, things like active listening, speaking with empathy, and being a leader by example are ways that a paladin would use communication. They should also be willing to step outside their comfort zone and speak publicly about the things that they believe in. So volunteering to give presentations or even honing their skills in online discourse in a respectful but persuasive manner are things that would be part of the modern real-world paladin. And also, importantly for them, their charisma is a beacon of hope. They instill hope in others. They practice positivity, offer encouragement, and radiate a sense of confidence can't help but be caught up in and want to move forward and improve their own station because they are so greatly inspired. And if we put these together, we think of what it is to be a paladin. What is it that is truly unique about a paladin? It's their code. Every paladin needs a guiding principle. And if you're going to walk the path of the paladin, you need to forge your own. So first, you have to find a cause. What are you passionate about? You need to identify a cause that you believe in deeply, whether it's social justice or environmental protection or anything that makes the world a better place. Then you need to develop a personal code of ethics that reflect your values: honesty, integrity, compassion, courage, all worthy principles for a paladin. And most importantly, once you develop this code for your cause, you have to walk the walk. You can't just talk the talk. Live your life according to this code and hold yourself accountable for upholding your values. Remember, in the game, when a paladin doesn't walk the walk, they lose class abilities. They lose the ability to do what is part of their nature, and so do we. If we are trying to embody something and yet we are living in accordance with those values, those ethics, that cause that we are presenting ourselves as a champion of, well, it doesn't go very well when people realize that we're not walking the walk. Part of that paladin charisma, that ability to inspire, is being inspirational because they are a champion of that. They are the embodiment of what it means to follow that virtue, to live with those ethics, to champion that cause. Let's talk about our rule of three books that you could read and study to help you figure out the path of your paladin, define your own code, and figure out what cause you might wish to be a champion of. Now, you can find the links to all these books, of course, in the show notes below. The first is by Peter Singer. It is titled The Most Good You Can Do: How Effective Altruism is Changing Ideas About Living Ethically. And this basically is talking about how to live less selfishly, to allow reason rather than emotion to determine how you live. And through living in an ethical way, having the ability to help tackle the world's most pressing problems. This is that age-old idea of being the change you wish to see and letting it begin with you. An excellent roadmap for Paladin's ethics. Next, we have Finish What You Start: The Art of Following Through, Taking Action, Executing, and Self-Discipline by Peter Hollins. This book is excellent. It takes a deep dive into the psychology and the science of accomplishment and productivity and getting things done. This is what it means to be a champion of a cause. You have to accomplish something, you have to stand up for it, and you have to get things done. So this gives some step-by-step solutions that you can start using right away, and it covers all the way from the beginning to following through and finishing what it is that you're starting, which really is the goal of the Paladin. They want to finish the goals that they set for themselves and be the paragons of that example. Finally, a fun one, which is Lead It Like Lasso by Marnie Stockman and Nick Coniglio. Now, this one is awesome. It is based on the show Ted Lasso, but more specifically is based on the leadership philosophy that the main character, Ted Lasso, uses. It's a different approach to leadership, and if you've seen the show, you'll understand what I mean when I say that it is a different way of being a leader that inspires people to be the best version of themselves, not as the athletes that they are, but as humans. And I think that really is the heart of the Paladin's role, is to inspire others to be the best possible humans that they can be and radiate that good everywhere. We'll say that this is a must-read book for anyone who wants to embody a leadership style that just makes you feel better and makes those around you better for being around you. A couple other resources that you might want to investigate as you go about developing your code and figuring out your cause. You could look to the Library of Congress. They have a whole resource on ethics. You could also look at the Greater Good Science Center, and TED Talks are a wonderful tool for understanding ethics and how to be a better person and live a better life. Like all of our paths, the path of the Paladin does have its obstacles. And for the Paladin, a very specific one is self-doubt. Now, everybody doubts themselves sometimes. Remember, though, when you're looking at something so big as a cause, self-doubt can creep in a little bit easier because it seems like something that is so much grander than yourself. It occupies such a large space compared to the space that the individual might occupy. So practice self-compassion and focus on progress. You should seek support when needed, but remember that every small step forward can lead to big changes over time. A paladin might also struggle with disillusionment. The world is a harsh place, and finding inspiration in others might be a good way to deal with this. Staying true to your cause and remembering that you are fighting for what's right and why you're fighting for what's right can help you deal with some of that disillusionment. And of course, it can be difficult to walk the line. We already talked about that being so important for the paladin, but that is a challenge that you might face. Sticking to your principles can be very hard sometimes. So remember to practice discernment and focus on not compromising your morals. When you're faced with difficult choices, seek guidance. Finding a therapist or finding some close friend to talk to that can help you stick with your morals can be really important for staying on the path of the paladin. And not just that, but remembering that if you stumble, if you fall, these are opportunities for growth and learning. They don't have to be failures. They can be part of your path of growing, enriching your life. Let's talk about the 3-month plan for leveling up as a paladin. Remember, the framework here is to develop your physical strength, your determination, your inspiring leadership, and consistency is going to be key for all of those. So to start with the strength aspect, devote time to strength training. This can be 2 or 3 days a week. Dedicating this time to strength training, focusing on building muscle mass, core strength, overall power. Utilize things like body weight exercises or weight training at a gym, or find some beginner-friendly programs online, but work on developing that strength of body. The paladin is always able to stand up and fight for what is right, and part of having that self-confidence is being confident and strong in your own body. You also need to start small, developing discipline. Learning to wake up at a consistent time or go to a bed at a consistent time. Having a healthy sleep schedule is very important to consistency. Dedicating time to your fitness routine, even when you don't feel like it, is a very important part of consistency. And then for the charisma part, paladin-based, would be once a week exploring some ethical dilemmas, reading articles on your cause, or watching documentaries about real-world ethical challenges, discussing these things with friends, or joining online forums to explore some different perspectives and how decisions might align with a paladin's code of conduct that you have written for yourself. In that first month, you should write out what your cause that you're a champion of is, and you should write your paladin's code of conduct. What rules will you live by to be a champion of this cause? Now, this does not have to be a huge world-altering cause. Like, your cause can be something simple, something very close to home. It could be something as simple as being a better parent, being a better friend. These are great causes, and to be a great friend is inspiring to others. If people can look to you and say, I know that this person is always there for me when I need someone, they're always willing to lend a hand, to help me, to motivate me, to be healthy. That is a great paladin right there. So figure out that cause, figure out that code of conduct, and start walking that path as you develop your strength and your charisma in that first month. In the second month, build your resolve and further inspire others. So incorporate, 1 day of cardio, some running or some swimming or some biking, something to improve your cardiovascular strength, a little bit of that stamina. It reflects the discipline required to face any challenge, and it will help improve your strength gains. You don't have to do a lot of this, but just have something that will improve your heart strength as well as your muscle strength. You can also practice some sort of speaking, any opportunity to practice public speaking about your cause. Now, if you went with the example I gave in the last month, is if you're working on becoming a better friend and that's your paladin cause, speaking is simply finding time to talk to your friends, like just finding opportunities to be present for them. And that's part of walking the walk as your paladin, championing the cause that you chose. Or it can be something bigger, like it could be environmental awareness or whatever, and you might find a way to give presentations at work or participate in debate or, starting a YouTube channel that is giving practical advice on how to better recycle or find ways to upcycle and all sorts of things. Like, the sky is the limit, but whatever cause you have chosen, find some way to communicate in a way that will inspire others in that space. And also this month, start working on developing compassion. So if you're focused on a big cause, volunteer some time, like at a local charity or an organization that aligns with whatever your code is, or if it's something smaller and close to home, find ways to be compassionate with those around you who are impacted by the path that you're walking. You don't have to do anything huge for this. Just pick a few minutes every week and find some way to show that compassion and let others see and recognize that you are an individual of compassion. And in month 3, reflect on the values and experiences that you have had. You should take this third month and sort of modify your code. See what has worked for you and what will continue to work for you for the long run, right? Refine your code so that it becomes your full lifelong Paladin code of ethics, and define what that is, write it down, solidify that commitment, and keep it somewhere where you can see it and practice it every single day. That's the big thing for month 3. But as you continue on, you're going to still work on your strength. You're going to advocate and leave. Find an issue within your chosen cause and find a way to focus on making a change. If you're focused on being a better friend and something that you haven't done is responded well to text messages, well, the way that you can be a paladin and advocate for that change is you can set an alarm every day to go through your text messages and see if any friends have messaged you and respond to them. And if they haven't, reach out to them. Also, during this third month, work on developing further responsibility. Take initiative in your personal life and your personal cause. Look for opportunities to be a leader in that cause. And remember to take responsibility in your daily actions, upholding this code that you have developed for yourself and doing it in a way that will inspire others to do the same. Remember, the Paladin's journey is a lifelong commitment to doing good and inspiring others to be better versions of themselves. It's about continuous growth and unwavering determination and a dedication to making a difference. Whether it's small or whether it's huge, it doesn't really matter. It's the ideal of the Paladin that inspires others and makes the world around them a better place. So stand tall and uphold your code. Inspire others to join you on this path. That's all today, Sids. Until next time, we'll see you next session.